Because of the need to purify the internet, I, a female protagonist of an erotic novel, was thrown by the system straight into a pure novel to receive reform. I laughed to death. Reform is impossible. I can reform them. Female protagonists of erotic novels will never submit. The harem of the old world no longer exists. I must open a new harem in this world. The system is not too cruel, letting me become the most powerful princess in this world. I looked at the beautiful face in the mirror. I asked the maid beside me, "Tell me, with my face and identity, I should have at least 7 or 8 male concubines, right?" The maid had a face as if the sky was about to fall and cried, "Princess, how can you say such words? The pure world is really scary." The first man I aimed for was the male protagonist of this world, True Hoa Triot. His appearance was as bright as the moon and stars. He entered the cabinet at a young age. He could be said to be the most famous young man in the capital. To be honest, the male protagonist of the story is innocent. I originally did not want to tease him. But he is really too handsome. Every feature is perfect in my eyes. The moment I saw him, I thought, this man, I must find a way to possess him. I carefully thought back to how I had made those men crazy before. Well, first I talked to him. Then I gave him a flirtatious look. Adon. Seemed very simple. I put on makeup in the style of capturing the hearts of men in the old world, and wore the most gorgeous clothes in this world. 2 layers of attack. Wouldn't this charm him to death? I leisurely walked out of the mansion, preparing to create a coincidental encounter in front of the Zhao mansion's gate. When Zhao Hijia got off the carriage and saw me, he was slightly startled and bowed. His figure was tall, his dark red court clothes accentuated his jade-like face. His cold eyes were like shooting stars as he looked at me. My heart itched. Well, first I'll just talk casually to close the distance. "Hey, want a kiss?" Lord Zhao, who was always calm in front of the emperor, even when Mount Tai collapsed in front of him, he did not change his expression, was stunned. To tell the truth, I was stunned too. Why did I say what was in my heart? The more it was like this, the more I had to be calm. Next, the gaze. I slightly lowered my eyes, then slightly raised the corners of my eyes to look at Zhao Hijia. Humph, all kinds of charm, I can easily show it right away. Zhao Hijia slightly frowned. "Princess, is there something wrong with your eyes?" I took a deep breath, but we, the female protagonists of erotic novels, mainly spoke directly. "Lord Zhao, this princess is flirting with you." Zhao Hijia frowned even deeper. At that time I did not know, for a pure male protagonist, what I did was earth-shattering. Therefore my handsome Lord Zhao wrote a petition and sent me to jail. I was in the dungeon for 2 hours, still not understanding this situation. Normally we should have started some love scenes by now. Why am I in the dungeon? I fell into deep thought. My crown prince came to visit me. He was sneaky, as if what I did was extremely embarrassing. "Imperial sister, it doesn't matter how much nonsense you usually do, why did you do something so corrupt this time?" he said with heartache. "Even I can't help you." I was shocked. The pure world is really scary. I am the grand princess, holding power in my hands. Not taking off my clothes in the street is already good enough. Why can't I say a few words? The crown prince sighed. "Sister, just wait 2 more hours, I will secretly release you." So I, the female protagonist of the erotic novel, because of flirting with the male protagonist of the pure novel, was locked in prison for 4 hours. Confirming through the eyes, True Hoa Triot is a man I cannot reach. After leaving the prison, I sulked in the princess's mansion for a few days. Finally clearly realized I am not the female protagonist of this world. I don't have the aura of a female protagonist. Just waving my hand and wanting men to fall head over heels in love with me like before is impossible. But then I thought, I am the grand princess. I can just forcefully take it away. I don't even need to wave my hand. So I aimed at the new 3rd-ranked scholar Lam Fai Chi. It is said that during the imperial examinations, Lam Fai Chi's literature was much better, so the emperor originally intended to appoint him as the top scholar. But Lin Feiji was too handsome. The emperor appointed him as the 3rd highest scholar. I learned about Lin Feiji's background. His family was poor and his widowed mother raised him, suffering a lot. He had no power, no influence, no marriage contract. He was truly a man of no means. Such a talented person, no matter what, should be accepted into the princess's residence. So half a month later I held a plum blossom viewing banquet. The crown prince and several imperial brothers were all forced to come by me, so there was no one who would not know how to refuse my invitation. But when I saw Zhao Hezi, I was still a little stunned. He was wearing indigo casual clothes, wearing a jade crown, truly a handsome man. But I did not send him an invitation. He must have come with the 6th imperial brother who had a good relationship with him. Seeing his glance, I nodded slightly as if I had greeted him, then turned around to greet the other guests. The male protagonist of the story was pure. I could not provoke him. Could it be that I could not escape? 2. Hearing the maid report that the 3rd prize winner had arrived, my eyes lit up, and I went out to the front hall to greet him. Seeing him, my eyes lit up even brighter. Lin Feiji wore a white coarse cloth shirt that had been washed until it was faded, but he was still calm and composed. The corners of his lips curled into a gentle smile, making people feel as if a spring breeze was blowing by. Zhao Hezhi was like a noble and cold moon, then Lin Feiji was like a cloud in the sky. It was the kind of appearance that was very suitable for me to forcefully seize. I chuckled. Indeed worthy of the title of 3rd prize winner personally selected by the emperor, truly worthy of his reputation. Lin Feiji bowed and saluted. Princess, you flatter me. I led him to the backyard, laughing and talking all the way. The crown prince and the imperial brothers looked at Lin Feiji, then looked at Zhao Hezhi. Then they looked at me with bewildered expressions. 6th imperial brother walked to my side, leaned into my ear and whispered, Imperial sister, don't you like Lord Zhao? Today I helped you trick someone into coming here. Why did you change your target? I even call Lord true brother-in-law. Thank you. No wonder Zhao Hezhi's face became colder and colder. TSK. Why did Zhao Hezhi come this way? Lin Feiji beside him immediately raised his eyes and said, Feiji, please excuse me from disturbing the princess. He clasped his hands and was about to retreat to the side. I opened my mouth and instinctively said, no need to disturb. Zhao Hezhi stopped and smiled faintly, then this subject has disturbed me. I was startled. This Zhao Hezhi, does he know how to talk? I could only smile awkwardly. Of course not. The crown prince saw that the atmosphere was not good and quickly stepped forward to relieve the situation. It's getting late, let's start the banquet. I quickly replied, that's right, we can't keep everyone waiting for too long. I hoped that eating would silence Zhao Hezhi. Zhao Hezhi sat in the 3rd position to my right. Lin Feiji sat a little further away in the 8th position to my right. I originally wanted to look at Lin Feiji a few times, but my eyes kept darting back and forth and finally stopped on Zhao Hezhi's handsome face. It seemed like he had drunk a few cups of wine. His lips were red, his teeth were white, and the corners of his eyes were also tinged with red. My heart started to itch again. Wake up, do you want to stay in jail for another 4 hours? I regained my composure, raised my head and saw Lin Feiji standing up and leaving the banquet table. The best way to forget a man is to find another man. I made an excuse to go out for some fresh air and followed him out. Lin Feiji was at the lotus pond in the back garden. Although he had drunk, his face did not show any signs of drunkenness, only those eyes, sparkling with tears, suddenly exuded a passionate look, even more beautiful than the plum blossoms beside him. Conquer today, I must conquer him. I chatted with him for a few sentences and then went straight to the point. Lin Feiji, how about following this princess? This princess will give you a high position, give you wealth and honor. I looked at his expression, although he was a little surprised, but it was not the expression that wanted to put me in jail. I breathed a sigh of relief and continued to speak. I am the eldest princess, the same mother as the crown prince. My maternal grandfather is the chief minister Chao. Lin Feiji was silent for a long time without answering. I did not urge him either. If he did not have any backbone and self-respect, he would be a little bored. After a long while, he said, Your Highness means that you want me to propose to the princess? Not necessarily. With a son-in-law, it would be inconvenient to open a harem. You just need to occasionally do some intimate things with me. Lin Feiji seemed to understand but also seemed to not understand. His face was red, was about to speak when heard a cold voice ring out. The princess is so elegant. It was Zhao Hezhi. He stood 10 steps away, a gentle breeze blew and the plum blossoms beside him fell down around him. Such a beauty, normally I would drool no matter what. But now I only felt my scalp numb. Could it be that he had heard those words just now? It's over, it feels like a 10-year prison sentence. I'm dead for sure. Seeing Zhao Hezhi arrive, Lin Feiji seemed to have seen his savior, clasped his hands in salute, turned around and left in a hurry. His speed was so fast that it was as if a ghost was chasing him. Only Zhao Hizhu and I were left by the pond. He stood a few steps away, but his face was expressionless, showing no joy or sadness. It was impossible to guess his current mood. This subject came to find the princess. Originally wanted to apologize to the princess for the misunderstanding that day, but unexpectedly disturbed the princess's mood. Misunderstanding? He didn't misunderstand. But he said he was sorry. I immediately said with a serious face, "That's right, you did misunderstand that day, quickly apologize, this princess is listening." Zhao Hizha looked at me with a calm gaze. After a long while he suddenly chuckled. "Princess, is it a misunderstanding today too? It must be, otherwise why would you tease me and then go tease young Master Lin? You are a precious person of noble status, but please don't tease me anymore." Perhaps it was because he drank alcohol. His face was flushed, on his shoulder was a bright red plum blossom. Sigh, with this appearance, why would he think I was teasing him and not really wanting to kiss him? But teasing him would definitely not require going to jail. So he still thought I was teasing him. So I nodded seriously, "Okay." When I returned to my seat, I found that Lin Feiji had already left. This princess has power, influence and beauty, yet she still scared people away. I don't understand. But I thought he should come back. I couldn't think of any reason why he wouldn't come back. I could give him face and wait a few more days. That's what I originally thought. But I didn't expect that. As soon as I thought that, my body couldn't stand the idleness anymore. I could only say the female protagonist is a sex story. Whoever understands will understand. The Crown Prince recently gave me a group of guards. He hinted that I could choose someone from them to entertain me. Don't bother the officials in his court anymore. Damn it. I originally didn't want to listen to him. But unfortunately there was a little guard who grew up to be exactly to my liking. He had dark skin, thick eyebrows and big eyes. He was only 20 years old, but his body was already strong and muscular. His face was resolute and sharp. He always wore black armor and stood silently guarding the door of my palace. Occasionally when I called him to answer, his handsome and angular face would reveal a trace of red. It really made people want to tease him. I leaned against the bed and asked him to put on my shoes and socks. He flusteredly waved his hand and said he didn't dare offend the princess. I raised my eyebrows and looked at him. He pursed his lips as if he had made a very important decision and then said, "Okay. So cute." He knelt on one knee in front of me, his wheat-colored fingers gently lifting my fair ankle, but his eyes were looking away. I smiled, using the tip of my toes to lift his chin. "Little guard, you have to concentrate on your work." The little guard seemed to be breathing faster. His earlobes were red as if they were about to bleed. Just when I was interested, I suddenly heard the maid report that Lin Feiji was asking for an audience. Sigh, why didn't I know how to choose this timing? I sat up, adjusted my clothes and winked at the little guard. "Little guard, am I beautiful?" The little guard was stunned, immediately lowered his head and said in a voice smaller than a mosquito's, "Beautiful." Today, Lam Faichi was wearing a black robe, tall and elegant. Seeing me coming, he stood up to salute. I waved my hand, sat in the upper position and looked at him with a smile. He did not avoid it, looking straight at me. "What the princess said before still counts?" "Of course. This commoner is willing to marry the princess." Marry what princess? When did I ever say I wanted him to marry the princess? But I saw Lam Faichi's expression as if he had made up his mind. Even though he was the son-in-law, he still hesitated for so long before agreeing. If I just let him be a male concubine, I'm afraid he'll bang his head to death right in front of me. Sigh, regardless of whether he's a male concubine or a son-in-law. I have to catch him first. Wait until he loses his innocence, whether he wants it or not is no longer possible. If in the end we really can't negotiate, then he'll be the son-in-law. After all, he has no power or influence. Even if I open the harem, he probably won't be able to do anything to me. Holding him in my hands is as easy as turning your hand. Suddenly thinking of Zhao Hizha's face. If he becomes my son-in-law, I'm afraid even the guards in my mansion won't be able to keep him. I shivered. I've done good deeds and accumulated virtues all my life. I don't deserve this. I told Lin Feiji we're not very familiar with each other. Let's first cultivate our feelings together. Wait until we have feelings, then we'll choose a wedding date. This way of speaking was obviously a bit out of date for Lin Feiji. But he still agreed. Because I found him a good job. The naive Lin Feiji still didn't know that God's gift had already been priced. His body was already in my pocket. I used the excuse of wanting him to come teach me. He came to the princess mansion every day. Lin Feiji was very serious about studying. When teaching me he was always focused. I was also very focused on looking at him. Then he would use the book in his hand to cover his face a little, only revealing his red ears. This man, are you trying to use this method to attract me? Very good, you did it. It's been a month since I came to this world. I, the female protagonist of an erotic novel, have yet to eat meat. I thought that if we met every day in less than 3 days I would definitely be able to defeat Lin Feiji. I didn't expect that it's been half a month now. I've only just touched her little hand, and it was also an excuse for Lin Feiji to teach me how to write. His fingers were rough. As soon as they were placed on my hand, they quickly retracted. I grabbed his hand and looked at him with a smile. According to my previous experience, Lin Feiji should have kissed me by now. But I didn't expect that after he struggled with me for a while he would push me away. Push me away. I was really speechless. Lin Feiji definitely had a problem. Princess, it's this subject who's offended. He bowed to me. What I meant was, in this pure world, are all children blown by the wind? Is there really no way to have a passionate love story? I couldn't take it anymore. If this continued, how would I catch Lin Feiji? At this moment, a ray of light suddenly flashed through my mind, remembering that I was following the path of forceful seduction. That's right. Forceful seduction. Why would I bother with him here? So I directly lifted his chin. Lin Feiji, remember for me who I am. On his astonished face, I quickly placed my lips on it. A surprise attack was the key. He was stunned for a moment. Humiliation and surprise mixed with a bit of embarrassment, showing all kinds of red on his face. Really beautiful. But he quickly regained his composure, lowered his head and said, yes. Seemed like he was a little wronged. Damn, it's even more attractive. From that day on I became even more unrestrained. I wanted Lin Feiji to use his lips to feed me tea. I wanted my willow leaf eyebrows to use his hands to write and draw for me. I wanted his hand to tie up my black hair that hung down my shoulders. Of course he didn't want to at first. If I forced him too much, he would find an excuse not to come to the princess's residence for 2 or 3 days. But within 3 days he would appear at the princess's residence with a gentle and calm expression. He wore the sky blue long gown that I had chosen for him, on his head was a jade crown that I had given him, and on his waist was a jade pendant that I had given him. He just stood there silently, his willow leaf eyes without a ripple. He was as handsome as a person in a painting. He didn't need to say anything. I had already forgiven him. Thy beauty is harmful. The palace was holding a banquet to welcome the victorious return of the young General Gu. I sat in the position below the emperor. Looking back, Lin Feiji was in the crowded crowd, his appearance no longer outstanding. I was a little bored, originally intended to leave the banquet early, but the person the banquet welcomed had not yet arrived. The emperor sat in the main seat, but he was not angry. I was angry. It must be said that Gu Chaojin, the young general, and the original princess had a rather close relationship. They were originally considered childhood sweethearts, but when they grew up, the princess became Gu Chaojin's follower. Gu Chaojin had a charming appearance, excellent martial arts. His father was the great general of Zhenbei, and was considered a good match for the princess. But people did not like the princess. In order to avoid the princess, he ran to the border to lead troops to fight, and was gone for 3 years. Unexpectedly, this guy not only survived until now but also returned victorious. What does this prove? It proves that heaven has no eyes and disasters live for 1,000 years. I possess all of the original owner's feelings and memories, and at this moment, I do not have much goodwill towards Gu Chaojin. If it weren't for the fact that the young general in my memory had a truly good appearance, I would never have come to today's banquet. But now that I've waited, I'm running out of patience. I'll make an excuse to leave the banquet. I sent a maid to call Lin Feiji again. Even though Lin Feiji was used to my boldness when I forced him behind the rockery to kiss him, he was still so surprised that he was speechless. He frowned in both embarrassment and anger. Princess. I covered his mouth and chuckled softly in his ear. Don't make a sound, do you want people to hear? Lin Feiji's breathing was heavy, his eyes filled with ink. I became even more interested. Or do you want people to hear? At this moment, footsteps echoed from afar. I heard that the eldest princess was thrown into prison a few days ago because of her words. Teasing you? It was my fault, that day was just a misunderstanding. Ha, I thought so too, after all she used to always follow me around. Another voice was silent for a moment, then said, but young General Gu, that was 3 years ago. But it was true Hoa Triad and Ko Tru Ken. I frowned slightly, the others were fine, if these two people found out it would be a bit troublesome. The hand on my waist suddenly tightened, and then a pair of hot lips covered me. Different from usual, he only responded gently and passively, but this time, Lin Feiji kissed me passionately, as if he wanted to swallow me into his stomach. Is he crazy? Isn't he afraid of being discovered? Although I usually seem a bit crazy. But I'm not crazy to this extent. The footsteps of the two people got closer and closer. I got goosebumps and my eyes kept glancing to the side. The maid beside me winked at me frantically. I saw it, I really saw it, your eyes are about to cramp. But Lin Feiji took the initiative to kiss me. The footsteps gradually faded away. I breathed a sigh of relief. 5. Was about to discuss different kissing positions with Lin Feiji when suddenly there was a sound of gnashing teeth beside me. Su whining. I stiffened, turned my head to look. I didn't know when Zhao Hizhu and Gu Chaojin had already stood to one side. Their faces were as cold as frost. A little embarrassed. So embarrassed that I said, nonsense. What a coincidence, do you two want to join? What the hell was the main female protagonist thinking in her head? Perhaps because it was a palace banquet, Gu Chaojin wasn't wearing armor. He was wearing a black brocade robe with gold trim, sword-like eyebrows and bright eyes. No longer the frivolous immaturity of before, his nose was straight and high, his body was tall, his whole body exuded an unyielding aura. At this moment his eyes glared at me with anger. He really had some intimidating aura. Zhao Hizhi stood to one side, his eyes were bottomless. He's here, he brought the prison to me. I said I was just chatting with Lord Lin here, do you two believe me? Gu Chaojin sneered. Princess, why don't you wipe off the lipstick on Lord Lin's lips before saying this? I glanced at Lin Feiji, his expression was calm, his face was as white as jade, only his lips were red. It was really a bit hard to fool. It couldn't be said that it was too much of a coincidence. Lord Lin and I used the same lipstick color. Or should I just run? It felt like if I was one step too late I would be in jail. I'll take my leave first, you all can chat slowly. But Gu Chaojin still didn't let go, following behind Lin Feiji and me a few steps, his voice neither loud nor soft. I didn't expect that the eldest princess who was still following me around 3 years ago would have changed her mind now. They were teasing each other, I sneered. Young General Gu also said that it was 3 years ago. A month ago, Lord Tru, who I was following around, didn't say anything. Now it's your turn? Gu Chaojin's face was completely gloomy. Zhao Hezhi also raised his eyes. This mouth of mine, can it really not be closed? Returning to my seat, I felt a little upset. I won't be thrown into prison, right? No, right? I glanced at Zhao Hezhi. My human prison. He didn't show any expression, but just as I looked over, he looked back. His eyes were shining, his slender fingertips holding the wine cup, gently shaking it, noble and elegant. Mother, there's someone here who uses beauty to kill people. I turned my face away. In my panic, I drank a few more cups of wine. At this moment, the emperor above suddenly called my name. I heard that you've been studying with the 3rd-ranked scholar recently. I'm very happy, my daughter has finally come to her senses. It's not that bad. Before I could reply, I heard him continue. It's rare for you to be so diligent, I'll let Zhao Hezhi teach you. Come on, Dad, I refuse. I couldn't sit still anymore and quickly stood up. Lord Zhao is an important minister of the country, how can he waste time on such trivial matters? The emperor waved his hand again, looking towards Zhao Hizhi. Is Hizhi free recently? You would say he's not free, right? Zhao Hizhi, be a human, I beg you. Zhao Hizhi stood up, glanced at me. Yes. Between being a human and being a prisoner, he chose prison. Before I could even sigh, I saw Gu Chaojin also stand up. Your Majesty, can you let me study with you? I've been outside for 3 years and I've forgotten all my books and exams. Allow. Allow. What do you mean allow? This old man is really mean. After everyone left their seats, I asked to see the emperor and asked him to withdraw his order. The emperor laughed unfathomably. Do you like Lin Feiji? He really has some talent. But if you want to stand in a high position no matter what, you have to train for another 10 years. The man stroked my head. Ningyi, he is not worthy of you. But his face is worthy. The man's hand paused slightly. So, Didn't I choose two men for you who are both handsome and have good family backgrounds? Thank you, father. But I can't handle it, I really can't handle it. Zhao Hezhi, just looking at him twice is already half a step into prison. So the next day Lin Feizhi, Zhao Hezhi and Gu Chaojin all gathered at the princess's residence. I don't know what had aroused their strange sense of competition, but all three of them were dressed neatly. They were even more handsome than yesterday at the palace banquet. What was going on? Handsome. So handsome. I looked at the three of them. Each one was a dragon and phoenix among humans. One was elegant, one was calm, one was domineering. In front of beauty I was infatuated, my IQ plummeted, and all that remained in my mind was this: conquer everything. I really doubted, did my author intentionally lower my IQ in the beginning because he wanted some plot to appear? For example, right now I really wanted to jump onto the wooden table. Crawling, screaming, roaring in the dark, kissing each of them, then taking off their pants, running around them. Seeing my distorted expression. The familiar maid dragged me away. I regained consciousness but not completely. Called the little guard over. The little guard saw my face flushed and hurriedly said, "Princess, are you feeling unwell?" His expression changed. Were you poisoned? Could it be this was my nature? Being asked like this, I immediately lost interest. Little guard, you're very good. Before Lin Feizhi and I studied. We studied things that weren't suitable for children. I was the teacher. Now we're truly studying. It's like returning to the terrifying days of studying for the university entrance exam for 3 years, practicing for 5 years. Sometimes when I look at Zhao Hezhi, the image of my previous high school homeroom teacher appears in my mind. How strange. Zhao Hezhi, sometimes being a person doesn't need to be so responsible. On normal days when teaching, Gu Chaojin was always the most careless one. His eyes kept staring at me. I couldn't hold it in any longer and smiled, saying, "Man, are you so immersed in this princess's beauty that you can't escape? Admit it, you've fallen in love with this princess." Gu Chaojin immediately folded his arms behind his head, leaned back in his chair and said with a smile, "So what? Then come here and give me a kiss." Gu Chaojin became embarrassed again, blushing and gritting his teeth. Su whining, "What are you thinking about?" "Thinking about a kiss. What else could it be?" "Humph. Can't play, right?" Turned his head to look at the other two. Everyone's expression was even uglier. Still a good little guard. Seeing Lin Feizhi and I kissing, I was worried that Lin Feizhi would bump into me. A stream of clear water in a pure story. The victory of a loyal dog spirit. Sometimes when Lin Feizhi and Gu Chaojin had work to do, it was only Zhao Hezhi and I left. His cold eyes, when he slowly passed by me, my heart went numb. So why did those two always have something to do and Zhao Hezhi still had the free time to torment me? Later I found out he wasn't without work. After leaving the princess's residence, he often handled piles of work until late at night. I also asked him, why did he have to spend so much effort to teach me? He must have known that my mind wasn't on studying. Zhao Hezhi looked at the book in his hand, his long black hair falling down his chest, his long eyes never looking up. Princess should really read books properly. To understand what it means to have a beginning and an end, to be of one mind and one heart. What he said made me confused. Was he talking about me and Gu Chaojin, or me and Lin Feizhi, or me and the little guard? Could it be me and him? I was dying of laughter. Our emotional relationships were too rich. I didn't know who he was talking about at all. Lin Feizhi originally came to teach. But he was the one who listened most attentively. He said to me privately, "Lord Zhao's talent can pacify the world. So how do you compare to him?" Lin Feizhi smiled comfortably. "I'm not as good as Hezhi." "Humph. Is this the halo of the main character?" Speaking of the main character. I calculated the time. The female lead should be about to appear. As soon as the female lead appears, most of the famous men in the story will fall in love with the female lead. The female lead in erotic stories is very experienced. Therefore, I decided to quickly conquer the men I can conquer. I decided to conquer the little guard first. Choose the easy one first. I called him to massage my shoulders. He hesitated for a long time, only saying that he was a rough person, afraid of hurting me. I didn't say anything and walked in front of him myself. The maidservant had long since retreated. I put my arm around the little guard's shoulder, half closing my eyes. "Little guard, do you like me?" His whole body stiffened, his face quickly turned red. "Your subordinate doesn't dare." I lifted his face, wanting him to look into my eyes. Is it that you don't dare or don't like it? Only then did his eyes dare to look at me cautiously. Your subordinate doesn't dare. I gently touched his lips, just a light kiss. His whole body seemed to have turned to stone, but his breath was hot. His hands clenched into fists, trembling slightly because he used too much force. I asked him, "Are you afraid?" "Afraid of what?" After a long while he hoarsely said, "Afraid of hurting people." I brought his hand to my cheek and was about to speak when I heard voices outside. "Su Huining, what did you mean when you asked me to kiss you that day?" The maidservant's voice rang out. "Little General Gu, the princess is resting." My eyebrows twitched. I really suspected that this world was targeting me. Every time it interrupted me at this moment. "If you're not angry, then you think I'm an idiot." I pushed the door open, picked up the teacup beside me and threw it out. "Gu Chaojin, are you sick? Before, when I liked you, you avoided me like the plague. Now you're following me again." Gu Chaojin easily dodged, and when he looked up he saw the little guard standing behind me. He was stunned for a moment, then immediately looked at our expressions and guessed what we were doing just now. "Su Huining, you really..." Seeing that he didn't finish his sentence for a long time, I lost my patience. "I don't need you to care, we have nothing to do with each other, is it your turn to go crazy here?" She defends him. I didn't know how he came to this conclusion. I was silent for a while before I could open my mouth. I saw him rush forward, fighting with the little guard behind. The little guard didn't dare to fight back, only trying his best to defend. Gu Chaojin narrowed his eyes. "You have some ability." His aura changed, murderous aura rushed over. I kicked over the table and chair beside me. "Gu Chaojin, my man, you dare to hit him." Gu Chaojin paused, looked at me for a long time. Didn't say anything and left. At night I couldn't sleep well. Half asleep, half awake, I vaguely saw a dark figure. I immediately woke up. That person saw me awake, stiffened. "It's me. Gu Chaojin." He really was sick. I sat up, my eyes cold. "Gu Chaojin, do you know this is a capital crime? Even if you are currently covered by the divine grace, you still cannot bear this matter." He slowly walked towards me, the moonlight finally shining on his face. His unrestrained and unruly face was filled with anger. He stood in front of my bed. "Su Huining, Zhao Hezhe, Lin Feiji, even that guard is fine, why can't I be?" I really couldn't understand his brain circuit. I raised my eyebrows and asked, 3 years ago the person who escaped to the border, could it be me?" Gu Chaojin paused, his anger lessened a bit. "At that time I just didn't understand. After going to the battlefield I was close to death many times, my mind was filled with her face. I thought if I died how heartbroken she would be. I survived again and again. But how could she not like me anymore?" I sneered. "Why not? Do I owe you?" Gu Chaojin got angry again. "But what does that guard have to do with it? If she just wants to find someone to have fun with, I can also have fun with her." He put my hand on his chest. "I'm better than him." I chuckled, knelt on the bed and slowly took off his clothes. His body was thin, with broad shoulders and a thin waist, and his white chest was covered with scars. I gently caressed those scars. His breathing gradually became heavy. I kissed them bit by bit. He gently hugged me, his Adam's apple moved, his lips and teeth whispered, full of affection. Then I kicked him away. Gu Chaojin fell to the ground, his clothes disheveled, and his face still had a confused look. I stood up, looking at him from above. "Gu Chaojin, it's impossible that you can do whatever you want and whatever you don't want, that's it. How can there be such a good thing?" Gu Chaojin only then came back to his senses, gritting his teeth. "Then what do you want?" I leaned down to his ear. "Or are you begging me?" His face stiffened, humiliation and anger instantly engulfed his face. I saw him clench his fists, then slowly release them. He closed his eyes, then opened them, panting, his expression softening. He gritted his teeth, his sharp eyes softened. "I beg you." I sat on the edge of the bed, laughing heartily. Next time, today this princess is not happy. Not long after, something happened at the border. Another country invaded. The emperor ordered Gu Chaojin, who had just returned to the capital less than a month ago, to lead the army. He also appointed Zhao Hezhe as the military advisor. The crown prince knew about my relationship with Lin Feiji and wanted to promote him, so he also threw him into the team to follow. The little guard also came to find me, saying he wanted to go to the battlefield to make a contribution. I had a headache. I remembered that the female lead appeared in this battle. My harem candidates were all gone. I really had reason to suspect that this was a development where the female lead completely took over. No, absolutely not my harem candidate, not even one person can be left out. I ask for Father's permission to go to the temple to pray for the country. The war has not ended, I absolutely will not return. Father was moved and nodded repeatedly. It was not in vain that true Hoa Triad taught you all this time. My daughter has indeed understood things. So I, the understanding person, turned around and sneaked into the group to follow. With Ko Trukin hiding me, I naturally had no fear of being discovered. At first, Ko Trukin did not agree to let me go. He anxiously paced back and forth in front of me. How can she go? The battlefield is full of swords and knives. She is a precious flower and jade leaf. What if she gets injured? I looked at him firmly saying, but I am worried about you. I can't bear to leave you. He paused, his voice a little weaker. But the road is long and bumpy, hard and tiring. How can she? I can't bear to leave you. His voice became a bit softer. But the war is busy. I don't have time. I can't bear to leave you. He opened his mouth again and finally said, go then, I will protect her well anyway. I will absolutely not let her be in danger. I wasn't worried about this. Anyway, I remembered that in the book it was a great victory. As a result, after only 3 days on the road, I was discovered by Zhao Hezhi. I hid in Gu Chaojin's carriage and usually didn't show myself in front of others. I originally wanted to take this opportunity to develop some feelings for Gu Chaojin in the carriage. Who would have thought that this journey would be so tiring? Most of the time I slept soundly. On the third day, Gu Chaojin just got off the carriage to give some instructions, and saw the carriage curtain being lifted. A slender hand reached into an incense burner. Light this incense, it will make you feel better. Zhao Hezhi's voice. I immediately woke up. I silently took the incense burner and asked him how he knew I was in there. He only said 2 words, car tracks. Car tracks for one person and for 2 people are not the same. Damn it, how could that be? But Zhao Hezhi didn't expose me. Sometimes he even helped me cover up a little. But I was really too tired, I didn't even bother to say a word of thanks to him. Gu Chaojin saw that my spirit was down and I was visibly thinner, so he kept saying he wanted to take me back. Of course I didn't want to. It was ridiculous, we were already halfway there. Wouldn't going back mean taking the rest of the blame? While we were still arguing, Zhao Hezhi somehow heard the news. He took me to his carriage. I lay down on his carriage. I was surprised. Why was it so spacious and comfortable? Why wasn't it bumpy at all? Why wasn't I dizzy? Zhao Hezhi covered me with a brocade blanket. This is a carriage I specially ordered, it took a lot of effort, there's only one of these. In this ancient time, for the first time I felt the power of knowledge. Gu Chaojin really didn't want to, but seeing my situation he could only agree. It's just that he had to come to the carriage to see me more than 10 times every day. I heard the soldiers whispering, our general and Lord Zhao have a very close relationship. It was indeed quite close. Gu Chaojin looked at Zhao Hezhi as if he wanted to shoot knives. But I was actually much more comfortable. Zhao Hezhi was really thoughtful. A bunch of exquisite food. So much so that when I arrived at the border I had actually gained a little weight. It was really too unreasonable. When we reached the border I called Lin Feiji and the little guard one by one. They were shocked to see me. Especially Lin Feiji. He frowned and stroked my eyebrows. The journey is long, you must have suffered a lot? I put his hand on my waist. Look, you've gained weight. I want to make some achievements and marry her properly. Then you do your best, I'll wait for you. The cake still had to be drawn. The little guard's reaction wasn't that big, he only said, I will protect the princess well. I told them to be careful again, implying that they had to keep themselves pure. Don't let the halo of the female lead blind them. They listened vaguely but still replied, yes. Thinking of Zhao Hezhi's care for me before, I hesitated a bit, but still found an opportunity to tell him, you have to be careful in 3 days, I don't know why I dreamed that you were injured and your life was in danger. His expression changed slightly, yes, I will pay attention. But 3 days later news came that he was seriously injured. Fortunately, a mysterious female doctor treated him. This was the female lead. I thought about it all but still couldn't help but disguise myself to visit him. Just then I saw the female doctor treating him. I looked, oh my God. This level of medical skill was the kind where life and death depended on whether God would give me a chance or not. It almost made me, a medical student, dizzy. Although I knew that he was the male lead, he definitely wouldn't die. But if he continued like this, I didn't know how many illnesses he would leave behind, how much suffering he would endure. I looked at that pale and handsome face. After thinking for a long time, he still chased the female doctor out. Gu Chaojin hesitated a bit. Does Huining want Lord Zhao to die? This method seems too obvious. I wanted to laugh, so I chased him out too. Then I started to treat Zhao Heji's injuries. After finishing everything, I lay face down beside him to rest. Zhao Heji closed his eyes tightly, his eyebrows furrowed. This face, I really can't get enough of looking at it. I gently approached him. After all, I considered it as saving his life. I didn't ask him to repay me with his body, but a kiss should be enough, right? I was possessed by the devil and approached him. As soon as my lips touched the corner of his mouth, Zhao Heji opened his eyes. I was startled and wanted to stand up, but he pulled me into his embrace. Because he used force, blood seeped out from the wound again. But he didn't seem to care, looking at me and saying, "Princess, didn't I tell you don't come and tease me anymore?" I struggled to stand up, but he hugged me even tighter. "Su Huining, why do you keep barging in? Why do you come to seduce me?" He suddenly kissed me. He bit my lips fiercely. My mind was blank. What was going on? But this feeling was really great. Until he let me go, I still hadn't come back to my senses. Zhao Heji caressed my eyebrows and the corners of my eyes, his face still pale. "Wait until the war ends, we will return to the capital to get married." I jumped up. "Impossible. I won't marry you." His face turned slightly cold. I suddenly felt a little scared and stammered, "You know me, I'm fickle, I have two minds, I'm not a good woman." His expression didn't change. "I know. I won't care about the past. As long as you are single-minded from now on, in your eyes and heart there is only me." I cried and said, "I can't do it, I just want to give every good man a home, I love every good man equally." Zhao Heji gently smiled. "Then who do you think I will kill? Who do you have in your heart? I will make him disappear. Like this, in your heart and eyes, there will only be me." I took 2 steps back. This person, why is he so crazy? Or should I leave it to the female lead? "I absolutely will not agree to marry you, don't dream about it anymore." I turned and left the tent. Zhao Heji didn't come to find me anymore. I thought he had given up. After all, he was arrogant and noble. Moreover, there was also the female lead standing beside him. But 10 days later, the 2 armies fought. Gu Chaojin led an army to attack the enemy's rear. At this time, True Hoa Triot should send another group of people to support, but he did not do so. He stood in front of me. The soldiers outside were extremely worried. He leisurely and slowly asked me, "So, do you want to marry me?" I looked at him in disbelief. "Zhao Heji, are you crazy?" He slowly approached me, still with that elegant and refined face. "Eldest princess, have you forgotten? You were the one who took the initiative to flirt with me first. There must be a beginning and an end. Didn't I teach you?" I opened my mouth. "But you put me in jail. On the crowded street, you acted unrestrained. If you weren't punished, it would be even worse for your reputation." Although I didn't feel that there was much difference. "I can understand that you were angry at that time, so you prepared to apologize to you at the banquet, but I didn't expect you to have a change of heart." He grabbed my chin. "Su Huining, it's only been 7 days, have you already forgotten me?" I don't understand his brain circuits, but at this moment Gu Chaojin and the little guard are in danger. I really don't want to analyze his psychology. I quickly said, "Zhao Heji, you are an important minister of the court, a family of 100 years now. Because of this love affair between a man and a woman, are you entangled with me? The people, the family, the country, are they not as important as this to you?" He chuckled, said, "Yes. So Chu Huining, do you want to marry me or do you want them to die? Where is the female lead? Where is the female lead? Quickly come save me." After all, it's not like I haven't been moved before. I'll marry. That battle laid the foundation for victory. Behind was only chasing the defeated remnants. By the time Gu Chaojin returned victorious, I was about to reach the capital. Half a month later, they also arrived in the capital. The person arrived in the morning. The imperial edict of marriage was issued in the afternoon. Actually, it was not that I did not think about telling the emperor what Zhao Heji had done. The Zhao family probably would not collapse. But Zhao Heji would definitely have no way to live. I thought he saw through me and did not want him to die. What could I do? I love everyone equally. I could not bear to let any of them die. In the end, I could only suffer the loss myself. So miserable. I also did not dare to imagine the expressions of those people. Luckily, I did not touch their bodies. They were still innocent. Those people, after returning to the capital, all tried to find ways to see me. But this bastard Zhao Hijia had been following me around all day, not leaving me for a single step. I then took him to meet all three of them at the same time. The four of them sat at the same table. Only Zhao Hijia had a normal expression. The other three seemed to have a lot to say. But after looking at each other, no one opened their mouths. I sighed and said, "I'm already engaged, let the past be forgotten, let it go with the wind." They glanced at each other, but strangely no one spoke. It seemed like they didn't feel like these words were being said to them. I suddenly remembered the three of them didn't know of each other's existence. As expected of me, not fighting was already considered a success. I stood up, coughed, "I'll go to the bathroom for a bit." I quickly slipped away. I couldn't stay here for another moment. On the wedding day, Zhao Hijia did not do any official business. He took out a few letters from his sleeve. He read each letter to me word by word. The letters were full of love. Very touching. It was just that the sender was a bit wrong. They were Lin Feizhi and Gu Chaojin respectively. There was no little guard, which was also within expectations. After all, my little guard was the most obedient one. Zhao Hijia smiled. My scalp went numb. This was the smile when he was about to go crazy. I didn't reply, it couldn't be that bad. In the past half year he had been prominent in the court, his talent was evident, he seemed to be gradually becoming a key figure in the court. If he really went crazy it would scare me to death. Sure enough, he leaned down next to my ear. "Does the princess feel regretful that I will be alone in the future?" "A little." He immediately said, "Then how about I change my style every day? The princess has only me, one person is worth 1,000 people. So good at playing? Like this, it's not too much of a loss." I looked at the handsome man in front of me. Finally, I gently kissed him. Extra story: Zhao Hijia. I was raised to be the heir of the Zhao family since I was young. All the resources in the house were put into me. At first, my older brothers and sisters were jealous of me. But gradually they knew that I was worthy. I did not disappoint anyone's expectations. Although I never bothered to meet their expectations. I just kept going and I would get there eventually. Very high, a bit cold. I started to feel a bit bored. Power, money, status, that's all. The family arranged for me. Even more boring. This world is like gray. Makes people uninterested. Until that day. Su Huining stood in front of me. She was cheerful, her face was dazzlingly beautiful. She said she wanted to kiss me. I lived for 20 years. The first time I was so shocked that I stood rooted to the spot, not knowing how to react. She said again she was flirting with me. Now it was the second time. People were coming and going around. She smiled freely and brightly, not caring about anyone's gaze. My heart seemed to suddenly be moved. But no, since I was young my teacher taught me etiquette. She was not polite. So she was thrown into prison. Only then did I realize what had I done. For the first time I began to doubt myself, did I do something wrong? I sent someone to inquire about her news. They only said that the eldest princess was mentally depressed. I thought she must be angry. That was right. I was going to apologize to her at her banquet. But I waited and waited. All the noble families in the capital received invitations. I still haven't received any. I knew that the princes would definitely go, so I used the excuse to chat with them. They all knew what happened that day, so they all knew that Chu Huining had feelings for me. The sixth prince even called me brother-in-law. Calling me that before we were married was really inappropriate. But I didn't know why, so I didn't stop him. I went to the banquet with the princes. But Chu Huining only nodded at me from afar. He was still angry, I was sure of it. Until she appeared with Lin Feizhi. She smiled brightly like the sun. It was fine, she was just a talent lover. Until I heard her say those words to Lin Feizhi by the pond. How could she be like this? A few days ago she was flirting with me and today she's flirting with someone else. I was angry. For the first time I lost my gentlemanly demeanor and said some harsh words. But she only said, "Oi." My world turned gray again. Then I heard that Lam Faiqi taught the eldest princess. It seems that Lam Faiqi agreed. Humph. This behavior is really despicable. But why am I jealous? Jealous of what? Jealous of Lin Feizhi giving up her dignity to be intimate with her? I am even more pitiful than Lin Feizhi. Then I saw Lin Feizhi and her kissing behind the artificial mountain. My whole chest felt like it was about to explode. But I just looked coldly. The emperor asked me if I wanted to teach her. I looked at her with a frightened expression. I softly said, yes. I taught her. Every day I taught her etiquette. But she didn't understand. So silly and adorable. She clearly spoke frivolously with two minds, not at all appropriate to the law. Why do I have to pay attention to her? I watched her flirt with Gu Chaojin. I watched her exchange glances with Lin Feiji. Even the little guard who usually followed her, she was gentle and tender. I held her hand tightly, then let go. All right. He was not polite. Until I arrived at the border, I found her in Gu Chaojin's carriage. My heart was pounding. I thought God wanted to bring her to my side. I arranged for her to be in my carriage. Looking at her sleeping soundly beside me, breathing evenly. It was like a dream that could be touched. A colorful dream. That day she told me with a serious expression that she dreamed that I would be injured. I only wanted to ask in her dream, did I treat her well? Did I push her away? I didn't ask. After being injured, I was in a coma for 2 days. When I opened my eyes, I saw her kissing me. Was it a dream? But even if it was a dream, I would not let her go anymore. She was the only color in this gray world, a colorful dream. Extra story of Lin Feiji. I had been an official for 5 years, and finally climbed up to the cabinet. But the distance from Zhao Hiche was still too far. There is a difference in our family background, in our vision and knowledge. He just left me far behind. Actually, I can accept that I am not as good as him. I also don't need to chase after him. After all, if we want peace and prosperity for the country, having Zhao Hiche is truly a great blessing for the people. However, if I don't chase after him, Chu Huaining will never belong to me. Therefore I cannot stop no matter how long it takes. One day Gu Chaojin wanted to conspire with me to overthrow Zhao Hiche. We hid in the dark. I saw him holding Chu Huaining's hand. He was pinning a flower hairpin for her. Chu Huaining smiled brightly and warmly. She used to smile at me like that too. But if something happened to Zhao Hiche, would she still smile at me like that? I silently refused Gu Chaojin's offer. He roared, "What are you afraid of? If Chu Huaining blames me, then blame me. I want to see her, I want to touch her." But he was quickly sent back to the border by Zhao Hezhe. I sneered, was Zhao Hezhe that petty? He didn't even want to leave a little bit of his dreams for others. Zhao Hezhe, you better be forever strong, forever without any flaws. Otherwise, sooner or later I will catch up to you. The end.